I think I think India is about 30% is of their turnover is contributed to our GDP, but it can go up to 50%, right? And the challenge is the growth and the scalability of this business. I think that's where these MSMEs are having challenges today, right? Sales will teach you a lot of people skills, and to grow in your life, you need a lot of people skills, right? And you get to learn that in sales, and without you spending a lot of money, you'll get to learn. So you'll make money, you'll learn faster than anybody else in the environment.
Right. Hi. Today for the Evolvement Podcast, आज हमारे पास एक बहुत स्पेशल बंदे हैं. I am very pleased to know Mr. PN Shetty. PN Shetty जी जो है, he is the MD and CEO of Rupee Boss. रूपी बॉस एक ऐसी कंपनी है जो उन्होंने 8 साल पहले चालू की, एंड टुडे वी आर गोइंग टू रियली डेल्व इनटू द फिलॉसफी और जो थिंकिंग है और जो हमारे पॉडकास्ट के थीम से मैच करती है, विच इज़ इवॉल्वमेंट. थैंक यू सो मच फॉर गिविंग मी दिस टाइम. आपने मुझे पता है आप बहुत बिजी हो, आई टोटली अंडरस्टैंड, आपके फ़ोन्स आ रहे हैं और आपने मुझे इतना टाइम दिया. हाईली ग्रेटफुल.
यू आर वेलकम. थैंक यू फॉर टेकिंग योर टाइम आउट.
हाँ. ओके, तो व्हाट, जब आपने एक मेरे अंदर जब भी आई मीट एन एंटरप्रेन्योर और अ बिजनेस ओनर, और आपने इतनी बड़ी एक कंपनी जब आपने बनाई है, सो आपने ये जो कंपनी चालू की रूपी बॉस, आपने एक्चुअली वो ट्रांजिशन लिया फ्रॉम एन एम्प्लॉई टू एन एंटरप्रेन्योर. क्या चैलेंजेस आए आपको?
गुड थिंग इज, जहाँ मैं काम कर रहा था उधर में मैं PNL हेड था.
ओके.
तो थोड़ा बहुत वो जॉब में ऑलमोस्ट एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप था ही. दैट हेल्प्ड. बट अदरवाइज यस, नाउ इट इज फुल इन्वॉल्वमेंट वेयर यू आर रेस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर एवरीथिंग, राइट?
करेक्ट.
So you have to take care of multiple functions, and everything should run smoothly, and you have to set up the entire thing from scratch. So that way it was challenging. Getting right quality manpower, getting all the processes right, and that too, since our ambition was to go pan India. So the challenges of opening office across the country, so all that were challenges,
right?
And yes, but yes, we could get it right, thankfully.
जो मैंने तो लास्ट ईयर चालू किया, आई हैव अ वेरी स्मॉल सेटअप. आपका इतना बड़ा विजन तो नहीं था मेरा, बट द फर्स्ट थिंग, जब आप अपने आप से चालू करते हो, आपको एज अ प्रोफेशनल बहुत सपोर्ट दिया जाता है. ये डिपार्टमेंट, वो डिपार्टमेंट, प्रिंटर अवेलेबल है, ये अवेलेबल है. आई मीन, यू स्टार्ट अलोन, यू सडनली रियलाइज कि आपको किसी को ये डेलीगेट करना हो ही नहीं रहा है. आपको सब कुछ खुद ही करना है, आपको सब कुछ खुद ऑर्गेनाइज. सो दैट वाज व्हाट वाज दैट चैलेंज? सबसे बड़ा आपको उस टाइम पे क्या लगा?
I think thankfully when I started this, my partners were already a large corporate.
Okay.
And they had all this set up.
Achha.
So when I started off, I got that support. Maybe that was a blessing in disguise for me. Where all the HR department was there, marketing was there.
Okay.
So I just have to develop which is right for our business.
Right.
So that we could do it fast.
Okay.
So that helped.
So
but otherwise
who were your partners?
It was Landmark Group.
Okay.
The automobile showrooms and Landmark insurance broker, that is policyboss.com.
Okay.
So they were anyway successfully running their part of businesses, and this was a new business for them. So I set up Rupee Boss for them at that point in time.
Okay.
And thankfully they had a lot of multiple departments, so it became easy for me to that extent. Yes.
Something.
Yeah. Yeah. Otherwise, I have seen in the marketplace how MSMEs struggle when they start on their own, where a lot of departments it is they are the marketing head, they are the finance head, they are everything. So it's a challenge.
For me, I think when I started my thing, the first time I realized कि I can do some, I bought a printer. I'm not kidding. That printer has a pride of place in my cabin now, like my office. So जब वो आया लगा अरे अभी अब office है. Right. So that these things are small things, but they definitely count.
That's right.
So when so I'm sure the transition wouldn't have been easy. Although सब कुछ help आया, सब कुछ आया, But you started a company which is actually helping MSMEs. They are growing, and so what was the you all require a lot of your own contacts, your connects in the industry. वहाँ पे what was that? How was that phase for you?
Yeah, it is challenging when you start off, because banks or NBFCs want a certain kind of volume for their businesses.
Right.
So building that volume will take its own sweet time. So when we are working for a bigger corporates, that is already taken care of.
Huh.
So that all volumes are already there for you, and you get the top slab, and the revenue is anyway huge.
Right.
But when you start off something new, then you're building from scratch, getting to that volume. Till the time you don't get that volume, you don't get that kind of importance from the institutions. Thankfully, our team was old. I'm in the business for the last few years. That to some extent it was easy for us to do it, but otherwise, yes, it had its own challenges. Plus, in our case, since we were joining hands with the large corporates, and that corporate had all the divisions, the cost was bit high. So when you are a solo entrepreneur starting off, you'll keep those costs under control, right? In my case, in our case, that cost was already high.
Right.
So then my revenue should support that kind of departments too, right?
Correct.
HR, finance, all that comes with the bit the costing, right?
Right.
So I was not having the advantage of, say, having those costs under control.
Correct.
So that was a challenge.
The other side of
yeah.
the
Bigger,
the bigger
organization.
picture.
Yes,
Exactly. No, and you know what, the space that you have chosen, now I've also got an NBFC experience, and a lot of funding is required for this. So initially when you're starting new, I know backup hai, but you require a lot of funding to go out in the market, like already built-in costs are there, and so that must have been like a shock, I think, initially.
It is a huge cost, because our business is bit employee intensive. You need a lot of feet on street, telesales officer to manage this business, and they take 3 to 6 months to become productive.
Correct.
So that becomes a huge cost, and that manpower cost becomes really huge. And obviously doing that business and all that business happening on time, and the working capital cycle of the same, because you do business for, then it gets billed to the bank, and by the time they pay you, there are 2-3 months gap, right? So managing all that was a challenge, and employee turnover is also a challenge. Because we need predominantly sales force, right? And getting sales team is a challenge today. That too, well trained, well qualified people who wanting to take up a sales as a career is a challenge. To get such kind of manpower is always a challenge.
We'll talk about sales. I really want to, and this is a subject close to my heart, by the way, because I've been in HR. तो HR में जब आप रहते हो तो आपको किसी को सेल्स के लिए आना है तो आपको सबको कन्विंस करना पड़ता है. And but there are some people who come with that sales mentality. नहीं, हमको तो करना है, and they really grow in their life, तो वो हम definitely बात करेंगे, and I really want to touch that. But मुझे ना आपने एक चीज़ मेरे से, हम जब फ़ोन पे we were talking, you mentioned that 1 year was the biggest struggle of your journey, where you felt investors were asking for money, and वो जो आपका phase था वो क्या था?
Yeah, that was a tough period where they wanted to concentrate on their core businesses.
Okay.
So they wanted to exit this part of the business.
Okay.
So they were not ready to fund this business anymore. So at that time, it was I think maybe the biggest, say, challenging period of my life, you can say that, where I obviously you need funds to manage the show in terms of working capital, all that. Then I had to put my own personal funds to the company and ensure that everything is paid and it is sustained. Because otherwise, if employee thinks that there is no money in the company, even employees also will think that what's happening. So they also think about their career, right? So to manage that 1 year was the most challenging time, and somehow, yes, and it was a risk too, because there was no guarantee that if I put my money, whether the chances are that 100% money would have gone. Suppose if company has not survived then.
Yes.
So, but then I think that risk paid off. So it was a huge risk, but yes, it paid off. I think while building an organization, I think you have to be ready for everything. Things can go wrong, and you have to think that yes, you can rebuild yourself, and you have to take that risk. And I could take that risk.
No, but there are so many people who I think would have said that, okay, I give up. When something like that happens, वो जैसे वो line क्या है, डर के आगे जीत है.
Yeah.
Imagine to put your own money, and रात को नींद नहीं आती होगी, कैसे
Yeah.
करना है. That is a very, very intense phase.
That's true. Actually, in fact, few of my friends told me, Shetty, it's not your business full. It's not your full 100% business. Just it's okay. You can restart again. Just give up this. I said no. They have not started this to give it up. They have started this. I'll ensure that I see it through. In spite of advice of my friends that give up, I thought, nahi, I'll see it through, and thankfully it worked.
Yeah. No, I think it's your vision. क्योंकि आपको दिख रहा है आपके सामने, you're seeing that, okay, this is a vision. Others can't see that vision.
That's right.
And that is that difference which creates the.
Yeah, I was
a
100%
leader.
sure that yes, this business will eventually work out, and there is huge scope for the business.
Okay.
That confidence always had. So that helped. Yeah, they
Right.
said yes, vision helped.
Vision help, yeah. So okay, now this during this period, okay, what are the qualities? I always talk about this, by the way, because I'm into coaching space and I talk about, I'm a little spiritual. So I talk, what are the qualities that you felt got developed? Hoga earlier also would have been there, but would have really developed in you, okay, during this phase, and what you went through and what you can experience now. What are
I
those
think
qualities?
Patience and
Okay.
trusting people and taking that risk,
Okay.
right? So and believing that that in the people that you work with, you have to believe them, right? Because they are there for you, and you can't have lack of confidence there. So I think these 3-4 things are crucial. So
Even though you're shaking inside,
right,
you're showing that confidence to your people so that they are,
there, yeah.
so then they are knowing that somebody's at our back.
That's right.
That's okay. So this is actually, the core of crux of leadership.
That's true.
Leadership doesn't mean you have all the answers.
Yeah.
But I think leadership somewhere also means that you are able to stand behind your people and say, no, I'm there. So I
That
think
assurance is important, yeah.
Huh.
And people should believe in that assurance too, right? Otherwise, it can be a challenge.
yeah, and believe me, fakeness comes through.
That's true.
People understand something which is fake and
Yeah,
which
that's
is
right,
something
yeah.
which is genuine.
That's right.
They're totally there. And okay, this particular space. So I have somewhere NBFC experience, and this particular industry, like MSMEs, when you chose this particular business, why did you think, what do you think you can make a difference for MSMEs? Why you chose this particular field?
I think if you look at any newspaper for the last few years now, or even now, whenever you and the event that are taking place around the country or globe, people, the one prominent thing which comes up is MSMEs, right? I think India is about 30% is of their turnover is contributed to GDP, but it can go up to 50%, right? And the challenge is the growth and the scalability of this business. I think that's where these MSMEs are having challenges today, right? So I was thinking, suppose if we are in the MSME loan business, the kind of the work that we do, if we can give sufficient working capital at the affordable cost to MSMEs,
Right.
it will help them to scale.
Okay.
When they scale, they will hire a lot of employees. So when we do our business, indirectly it helps many MSMEs to scale and upgrade themselves. I think that's what we internally discuss, even our team meetings in the office. When we are building a business, we are also building many MSMEs in the country. It's far fulfilling for us in this career that we are building our career. While building our career, many MSMEs are going to get benefited by our growth. I think to that extent that we feel good that yes, our work has meaning to it.
Yeah, because see, MSME is, I think, the grassroots level. People are there everywhere, and I think so. So I also coach many leaders and many business owners, and somewhere I felt in the MSME space, their capacity for risk is so low. They don't want to even upset the apple cart. Like, okay, I want to little extra spending ho gaya, no, I'll come back. Or so they're very hesitant to do anything, even training themselves, training them employees. So they need it, but somewhere. So what challenges do you all get for this?
You mean while dealing with the MSMEs, or you're talking about Rupee Boss as a company?
No, I think while MSMEs, because y'all are, y'all are providing them such affordable loans and everything, but it's not easy convincing them that they have to grow. Or what is the challenge there?
So if you ask me, there is not a big challenge to that extent, because the response is good so far.
Okay.
When we meet, there is a huge demand. For me, it's reverse. Me having quality manpower is more important than the demand itself. Demand is huge,
Okay.
right? MSME is looking for credit in a big way, and yes, some of these MSMEs are risk averse, right? They think that let's not take too much of debt, and let's not go, because if their say kids are not getting into the business, so they may not be thinking too much about growing the business to that extent. Anyway, I'm making few crore rupees, and everything is fine. Whereas they have a lot of potential. They can become a large corporate if they can hire good quality manpower, good professionals from the other industries. If they can do that, they can scale it big, and they can, and their balance sheet allows them to take credit. But some of them are risk averse; they do not take it, and that's why they don't grow.
Yeah.
So I think they should take credit if there is a potential in their business. They say it costs hardly 9 to 10% today, the interest cost. If they have 15-20% margin, I think you do get good valuation in today's market, right? Even if they can divest say 25, 30, 40% of their business stake, I think they'll make enough money for rest of their life.
Yeah.
And they can also build maybe a listed company for tomorrow.
But what more do you think can be done to grow these MSMEs? Credit is one part of it, and I'm sure this is credit is a huge part of it. But for MSMEs to really grow, their entire mindset, the way they see in a corporate, you have all processes, you have SOPs, you have, you're going as per due diligence. But in an MSME market, there are very lot of things which need to get done here. What do you think can be done to grow them? I mean, I think if you have to talk to all the MSMEs that this is what it is, how will you address that?
I think one thing is they have to spend time in training, upgrading themselves and their staff, so that they can take on bigger challenges.
Okay.
And technology.
Okay.
Right. So they have to build their tech and brand both, so that they are visible in the marketplace.
Right.
Technology is required to build the processes and to scale the business, and to build the brand, so that they can, if they are doing business only in that say city, they can go all India to multiple states. India itself is such a huge market today.
Right.
So that even to cover India itself will take few years, and you can scale your business 10 times. And obviously you can also look at export now. Now that India, I think brand India is built now, so they can capitalize on that, and they can market their product to other countries if their product has good say quality control and everything. That's a huge challenge which they can take it up. And
so thinking of expanding, like expansion, not being just just managing it, but more of thinking from a growth perspective.
And if they should do the market segmentation, where then what is the potential of the business.
Correct.
Suppose if they are doing some 10 crore, if the entire market itself is 10,000 crore, so that means their 10 crore can easily become 100 crore, right?
Exactly.
Because the market is say 10,000 crore, 20,000 crore.
Yeah.
So for that they have to build their team, they have to build technology, build that scale.
And build their uniqueness.
Uniqueness, yeah.
Yeah, otherwise they're just managing, somebody else has done it, isko le lo, just do that, copy it.
That's right.
But that uniqueness is not showing through.
That they have to.
That they have to definitely work on.
They have to spend time on that.
So, this MSME, I mean, I'm pretty fascinated by these MSMEs, because somewhere, in a corporate setup, when you talk to people and the kind of mindset available, they are always into training here. We are going to do outbound. We are going for processes. MSMEs, I feel somewhere they not have those resources. These particular resources to grow.
That's right.
And someone really needs to do something. Government is doing a lot.
right?
But I don't think what the government is doing is reaching the MSMEs. I mean, I might be wrong, but I think you can correct me.
I think this is a huge gap which we thought that we need to address.
Okay.
So we are in MSME loans.
Acha.
Now what we understood is MSMEs need a lot of handholding. There are few areas that they are struggling.
Okay.
Whereas we know who's good at those places which can help these MSMEs. That's why we thought we built one platform by the name MSME Bharat Manch.
Okay.
So this is a platform. What we did is we since we know a lot of professionals from subsidy, branding, HR, mentoring, training,
Okay.
and CFO services.
Finance,
Finance, right?
Huge.
So we know a lot of good quality professionals who can come at an affordable cost. Now we know MSMEs are struggling with that.
Right.
So we thought of connecting these MSMEs with these professionals.
Oh wow.
That's how we are getting them on our platform in MSME Bharat Manch.
Okay.
So that wherever they are struggling with, so we will give that quality professional to that area of their businesses, so that can be fixed, so
Okay.
that they can scale their businesses.
Huh.
Right? And important thing is, yes, because they cannot afford a full-time employee with few lakh rupees CTC.
Correct.
So what they need is a consultant who can work with them for 3 months, 6 months, 1 year at an affordable price and should be good in their domain. Since we know such kind of people who are good in those domains, so we can ensure the matchmaking with the MSME, saying that this CFO is good for you, you can hire him as your say consulting CFO.
Right.
Or this person is good in branding, this person is good in, say, to get subsidy schemes.
Because I think the government has come up with, I don't know, lots and lots of schemes for subsidies.
There are many. There is local government subsidy. There is state government. There is central government subsidy. There's one which we are now recently introduced is something called NAPS, where most of the people, in fact, one of my friend who has I think 20,000 employees was not knowing about this scheme. Suppose if you have, say, now it's a scheme where it is mandated by government that you have to hire fresh graduates as, say, as intern. If you do not hire, government will fine 500 rupees per employee who's not hired as intern.
Okay.
There will be a fine if you do not hire. There is no choice, right? But if you hire, for every fresh graduates, they will pay 4,500 rupees per employee. In Karnataka and Maharashtra, the quota is 25% of your current force. For example, you as a company has, say, 100 employees, you can hire 25 more freshers.
Right.
And you can get 4,500 rupees per employee for the next 1 to 2 years.
No one know. I don't think anyone knows this.
No, a lot of people do not know. And earlier it was only for technical staff. Now it is also for graduates.
But is it
BCom,
only
BSc,
for a
BA.
certain industry or MSME category, or is for any company?
Any company. It is, in fact, more than, I think, 30 employees is mandatory. There is no choice.
Okay.
You have to hire interns, and government will pay 4,500 rupees. And now government will pay that employee directly. It is directly transferred to that employee's account by the government, like your Aadhaar enabled. It's there. And we are
huge.
through MSME Bharat Manch, we are taking that to the MSMEs now. Our 600 employees are talking about this scheme to all the MSMEs now. So we are going to distribute this product to all the MSMEs, tell them that this is the benefit you should avail, so that you can hire a lot of freshers. Because I was reading an article yesterday. The article said L&T wants 50,000 employees.
Okay.
50,000. And we say that there are a lot of unemployment. Look at the irony of it. There is unemployment. There are corporates which are struggling to hire people. I think there is a gap in skill.
Right.
But I think that that can be bridged maybe with this scheme too, where corporates can take that extra 3 to 6 months to train that new employee.
Correct.
Right. Anyway, government is supporting them, and good thing is the remaining part of the money will be considered as CSR benefit.
So it's like 10,000 salary hai. 4,500 is coming. 50,000.
4,500 is coming.
Okay.
Remaining 10,500 which they are paying will be considered as CSR
for the company.
For the company.
Wow, this is like
too good to be true.
It's like dono haath ghee mein. It's like kind of that.
Right. It's a very good scheme. A lot of people are not aware. In fact, government has funds which is not getting utilized.
God, my sister is an entrepreneur herself,
Right.
and I don't think she's aware of this.
Yeah, we'll get in touch with her.
I'm going to call her after
Yeah,
immediately
that's right.
after this. So I'll tell you why I think somewhere people are not availing these schemes. I think not just from the MSME's perspective, but employees. People cry, I don't have a job. Okay, you have people who are like, okay, job nahi hai. I'm trying here, I'm trying there. I gave my CV in 20 places, nothing happened. I somewhere think, because that's my HR experience has been, that the minute the word sales comes in a job requirement, like your job role, people suddenly start running away from it. And it's so weird, okay, because sales has the maximum revenue. Sales people are earning, like, literally, if you see the kind of revenue, the kind of compensation that a sales guy will get is amazing.
That's right.
And even the growth that sales guys get. So I was also talking to somebody, my last podcast guest, so I was talking to him, and he said, sales kahan nahi hai.
True.
Sales हर
सब जगह,
डिपार्टमेंट में
हाँ.
बोले तूने HR किया तो तूने भी तो सेल्स
Sales
किया है.
किया.
Everywhere is sales. When you're closing a deal, it is sales.
Right.
So what about you? What do you think is sales? How important is sales?
I think there's a lot of education needed to. I think that we need to do this communication well. I think I just love sales, and I think the way people think about sales is a challenge there. So what is the thing about sales? You are satisfying a particular need of a customer, right? So you have to go and explain your product and tell them what are the benefits, and by whatever you are selling, it is going to make a lot of difference to the customer anyways, right? He'll be happy with your service.
Yes.
And since he is happy, you also feel good that whatever service you are giving, he is making someone happy, right? So I think it is just a law of averages. If you meet, say, 40-50 people over a period of 1 week's time, you will find some customers who are looking for a product.
Yeah.
It is just that you exploring and you get to know people better. And yes, the maximum growth will come from sales. If you look at a lot of CEOs are ex-sales.
Exactly my point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you'll grow faster because the sales will teach you a lot of people skills. And to grow in your life, you need a lot of people skills, right? And you get to learn that in sales. And without you spending a lot of money, you'll get to learn. So you will make money, you will learn faster than anybody else in the environment.
Right.
And you'll also get, say, to become vice president. For someone, non-sales may take about 10-20 years. Salesperson can get to vice president just 5 years time.
That's it.
Yeah, possible.
I think I took how many years? I took 12 years. Yeah, and I got a good growth, by the way.
Yes,
I got an extremely good growth, but it took me 12 years to become a vice president. And 5 years is
5
nothing.
to maximum maybe 7 years you can be vice president.
Wow.
And
Amazing.
in some companies, actually, I think I am and everybody, I think they get hired as vice president if they take it up a sales job.
I know, I've seen that.
That's right.
I've totally seen that because so one of my favorite authors is Prakash Iyer.
Yeah.
And he is an IIM grad, and his first job was literally like, selling. Saying go door to door. Usko bola, but Hindustan Lever those days. So, but yeah, they enjoyed it.
That's right.
And look at where they are now. They are Maharathi. They've reached somewhere in life,
You get to travel the world being in sales job. I think sales people are the people who travel the most.
Yeah. And also, every company, like when I was in Kotak or whatever, so the sales guys are, ye competition ho raha hai, they are going to Malaysia. Ab ye competition hai, to Goa. Like simple was Goa, to was like common.
Look at it. Travel the world without you spending even 1 rupee. What more you want?
Exactly.
And traveling teaches you a lot.
Yeah. Sales is, so I mean, I love this when I actually started my career like last year. And I wanted to learn about sales. So I said, who is the best salesperson I can learn from? And I remember this book I read was Zig Ziglar, Secrets to Closing the Deal or Closing the Sale or something. I was amazed by that book. He says conviction. You're not selling. So people think कि sales है सामने वाले को मामू बनाना है or something like that, But actually sales is what is the other person need. You are literally taking solutions to the other person, and that's a completely different way of looking at things.
You just have to be a good listener. I think salesmen sometimes talk a lot at times. I think you should do the less talking. Just understand let the customer speak,
Yes.
and you'll understand his challenges, and you can give that solution.
Right.
So
Sales is something, but I don't know why people are not taking up this, because you can learn, and best is you don't require a technical skill before. आपको on the job, people are there to train you on the job.
Right.
There is scope in that, there is growth in that, there is money in that, and people are actually going to invest in teaching you. But why are not people taking this up?
I think I advise parents to maybe allow some parents are not allowing their kids to go to sales as a profession now. I think it's time parents should say that you go and join sales as a career, because their own kids will end up flourishing in different areas of life. Somehow they being, I think, overprotective about them. I think they should just allow them to take up sales as a career, and they will learn a lot faster, and they'll become self-sufficient better than anybody else.
No, I think parents are coming from that perspective that parents at their time, one job you took, you retired from that job.
Right.
Okay, that's no longer the scenario where we are right now. That is not going to be possible at all.
Right.
So sales is the part which will actually get you that growth.
That's right.
So that's a different mindset. This is a different mindset. That's a different time. That India is old now. Now this is the new India.
That's right. In fact, the kind of sales team that we hired who joined as freshers, say about 1, 2, 3, 4 years back.
Okay.
If you meet them today, you can see the difference. Means when they joined, they were raw. They were not doing anything. Today, you should look at their confidence and the amount of money they are making today by helping MSME to scale. And I tell them that you are helping MSME to scale, and you are also making money. You are traveling into different countries, and they are buying cars. They are building homes. It feels really good.
Yeah.
They are earning 50,000 to 1 lakh rupees per month, and they are just graduates. In just 1 or 2 years, they have become this.
Imagine.
So it feels good to have that when you see the kind of progress these people are making.
So in Rupee Boss, if somebody is to join today, okay, like for example as a graduate and in a sales role, in 5 years, where do you think if they perform? Obviously they have to perform, but they'll get all the help possible.
In 5 years, he can be a general manager. He can have his own team.
Okay.
I have employees who have built at least say 50 people to 100 people team in just 5 years time.
Wow.
And making few lakh rupees a month.
Amazing.
Yes.
This is India. This is actually growing India.
In fact, we to few of them we have given cars.
You've given them, gifted them.
Yes, EMI is paid by us.
Wow. Oh, okay. I would like to apply. This is amazing.
That's right.
Yeah, and actually this is the change we require in people's mindset.
Right.
Instead of crying and saying nahi job nahi hai, no one has hired me, start looking at options.
And it is in sales, they think that it is a tough job. But I tell them that you come here, we'll train you. You just talk to customers we get the script also. Just talk to them.
Right.
Just explore. And when you talk to people, you'll find, anyway, in our case, there's a lot of demand for credit anyways. If you speak to some 50 people, you'll find somebody who's looking for credit.
Exactly.
And or they may be having loans at a higher rate. You can always do a transfer to another bank at a lesser rate of interest. If the current bank is not agreeing to reduce the rate of interest, that itself is a huge opportunity. It is just that you just have to have a conversation with customer. That's it. That's all you have to do.
Exactly my point. Yeah. And what are you meeting people? I think the more people you meet, the more your knowledge is increasing, your interaction, you're actually coming out of your shell.
And there's one more advantage.
Huh.
Now, youngsters are getting addicted to, say, digital media. Your WhatsApp, your Instagram, your Facebook, all
Totally,
that.
yeah.
Now, if you want to come out of that, if you ask me, sales is a good tool to come out of that, because you can use WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube to increase sales now, because all your customers are there. They are spending a lot of time on phone. So you send your communication to all, instead of sending those stupid pictures. I think you can send these communication to the customers, all your audiences. So in the marketplace, they'll end up knowing who you are. And in our case, in my employees, say they represent 100 plus banks and NBFC.
Right.
The customer end up knowing that this person represents so many banks and this person can arrange loan from say 1 lakh to 100 crore.
Right.
So that becomes your identity. So
Correct.
it's just that you should be visible everywhere and everybody should know what you do.
Exactly.
And
yeah.
for that you have to keep sharing. So you can get busy doing this on social media. In no time you don't need to go and pitch for business. People's business start coming to you next 1 to 2 years if you can spend that time. So you can, I tell them officially I'll allow you to use WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook.
Which company is allowing people to use WhatsApp
but only
and
thing is
Instagram?
use it for business.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Which company allows? We
That's
had
right.
those restrictions. You
That's
can't
right.
do this. You can't.
That's
Privacy
right.
laws.
That's right.
Yeah, this is amazing. You know, when we talk about, because you've also had 20 years of your own corporate experience and you're working with Andromeda and all that. 20 years in one company, and then you kind of quit and start this Rupee Boss. What was the I can only imagine the reaction of your boss. If we had an employee who was like 20 years and he's like a pillar in the company, obviously 20 years you have, there's a huge legacy that you've left. What was your boss's reaction?
Yeah, he did convince me to stay back.
Okay.
I think negotiation went on for a month at least. So
Okay.
he said, whatever you want, you can get it here. Why don't you stay back? But
Right.
then, since it was an opportunity for me to head that organization, and
Right.
I thought whatever I learned here, I can implement at my own level. Where if it becomes huge, obviously, at least I can use all my experience there.
Right.
And otherwise, maybe I would have retired there, right? So
that is like the genuine thing.
The risk.
That is that idealistic world, where you retire from there.
That's right.
Yeah.
So but he was very nice, and I think I learned many things from him. In fact, the manager who hired me there, his name is Vilas Apte. The kind of training he was giving us when we were sales team, I think even that helped. And after about say 4 or 5 years, I started reporting to my CEO there, Mr. V. Swaminathan.
Mr. V. Swaminathan.
Yeah, he's a great mentor. So,
but when you left, I mean, he must have felt, what are you doing? I mean, how will you replace you? And those things come into your mind.
That's true. But then it is a large organization. They had multiple leaders like me. But yes, I was one of them. He did try to convince me. In fact, he very clearly told me, if in case something goes wrong, come back soon.
I know they always say that.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, this is huge.
You try for, say, then if nothing works out, you can always come back. So.
Yeah, correct. But I mean, one thing which so HR, when you're in HR, the one thing which people do is when they leave a company, they literally burn their bridges.
Right.
Okay, I have left this company, I am like, this is my manager, I don't like you. They kind of, this divas that they become, and they want to leave the company, they'll give that feedback, or they'll not tell anything. They'll be like, no, very politically correct, no, I'm leaving for a better salary, or something. I have found that, why don't you leave with respect? You don't just escape from a company, but you create something there, and you work as per your own level of excellence. You don't have to just always conform into that base. Everyone is doing that, I'll also do that. So what is I think the difference that you brought to that company and that has continued now into this?
I think yes, it was very, very amicable in terms of my parting with the company, and that's why he's ready to take me back, right? I think that helps. Whatever you learned there, you're only taking that, you're building the brand forward, right? So today I want that company to do well, right? For me, that company is not a competition, right? I want that company to really well. I can always say that this is where I worked before, and whatever I learned it there. I think it is important that you leave companies on a good note, so that you can always go back if required, if needed. You never know. Life can throw you any surprises, right?
Yes.
And I think when you talk something ill about somebody, actually it talks about you only. It's not about them, right? So it's about your personality, it's about your nature. So whatever is there, you're just taking it out. So it when you take out some negativity, or when you talk such things, people will see you through, right? So It's not that they do not have access to such knowledge or anything, right?
Exactly.
Even they have this, so they think that there's a problem why so many people are happy there. That means there may be some challenge with you too, right?
Yeah.
So there is no point in doing that.
No, and no matter how the other person is, you have to show your own
That's right.
strength
That's-
and your own, your own, I think, stoicness inside you that, okay, I can handle it.
That's right.
I am there. And so this one thing which, when we used to do exit interviews and stuff, one thing which I always tell people, I said, now that you're leaving the company, always leave on a note that if you find your boss or anyone else, you just meet them
Right.
somewhere. You're not finding a place to hide.
Right.
You're like, okay, face to face, this is it. Oh, hello, how are you?
That's right.
And that should be the confidence, and that is how you're supposed to leave a company.
That's right.
I always complete your notice period, don't run away. So these are things which people do, and I think that is, it's really harmful for them. Company
That's right.
that doesn't make a difference with the company.
I think in the long run it helps that person only. Suppose if he leaves on a good note, and that becomes a personality too, right? Tomorrow you're going to build your team. People are going to quit you too, right? It's not that. So you have to handle that too, right? Tomorrow.
Yeah.
So the way you're quitting somebody else will quit you tomorrow, right?
Exactly.
So you should know how it has to be done. You may feel bad at that point in time because this is a karma. What goes around comes around.
No, and also from the company's perspective,
Right.
that a company, like I know a couple of companies where the minute you put in your papers, they make it difficult for you to leave. They'll be like, okay, this is what you did. You become enemy number one.
Right.
So that also
It's
is
both ways.
something.
Even companies,
I guess,
should allow, if somebody is going, then allow them to go. As long as till the time they were there, they've done all the things right. So I think you should allow people to grow.
So so you are now at this perspective. You have a company, you have this growing concern, and how many employees you said?
600 now.
Wow. So this is huge. This is pretty huge, and it's impressive. And now that you are, obviously Rupee Boss is going to grow. It is going to really achieve its scale. What do you really envision for Rupee Boss now? Where are you seeing it?
I think possibility for Rupee Boss to have about 10,000 employees and to help at least maybe 10 lakh MSMEs. And when you help those MSMEs, as I said, they will scale, they will employ maybe crores of people, right? So it's I think we end up creating a lot of MSMEs who will become corporates, who will get listed in stock exchanges.
Amazing.
And they will give employment to crores of people. I think as we getting built, a lot of MSMEs will get built around us.
Wow.
So I think that's the legacy which we would like to leave behind. I think that will happen.
That will happen.
Yes.
And with people like you in the forefront, especially not just Rupee Boss, but now Bharat Manch, the kind of help you are giving people. And I also feel that someone who's understanding their perspective.
Right.
So this is not normal.
That's true.
Normally you just come and a consultant will come and just say, okay, ye karo, wo karo. But यहाँ पे grassroots level, you're actually going there, understanding their concern. And so even with Bharat Manch, just thing happened. Is it to become part of Bharat Manch? Is the entry a barrier? Like how easy it to become part of it, or what is
any
that?
MSME can come on the platform free of cost. There are no charges to join the Bharat Manch. But there are some premium services. If you want some premium services, that's when we have just recently started. One can pay 5,000 rupees and become a premium member too. But that's
5,000 a month or how?
Per year.
Okay, annual fees.
Annual fees.
5,000.
Yeah,
that's
that
it.
too, if you want some premium services.
Okay.
Otherwise, you can just join free. And we also conduct a lot of physical events too. We already with other association, we have done at least 12 to 15 events.
Okay.
Where a lot of good speakers come and talk about subsidy schemes and other services. How to go MSME IPO.
Okay.
So we have done kind of sessions on that, and one more we are doing it in Bangalore next month.
Wow.
Where we are calling MSMEs to come and learn.
Okay.
Right. So we are doing both online, offline, both now.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
that's amazing. And I think 5,000 annually is nothing.
Nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is a scheme that every MSME they should just join in, and even at least free, at least be part of the entire infrastructure, see what is happening.
Because this country needs one large MSME platform, so that whatever challenges that they have, if collectively we can bring it to government's knowledge or authorities' knowledge, they can do something about it, right? But the platform should be large enough so that it gets noticed. That's why we're looking at having 1 lakh, at least 1 lakh MSMEs on the platform, so that their voices will be heard, saying that yes, there are so many people are asking for it. I think we should do something about it. That's why we are building it, because anything small, nobody will take it seriously.
I'm so impressed by this. I mean, I think this has been a really lovely, interesting conversation. I've learned a lot.
Thank you.
I have actually learned a lot in this conversation, and thank you so much for giving me your time. And guys, excellent work being done here, and we need more platforms like this. We need more people taking the initiative and actually growing others.
That's right.
So when you grow others, you tend to grow along with that.
That's true. Wherever there is a neutral platform, in our case, we are a neutral platform for MSMEs, for all business loans, be it unsecured business loans, home loans, mortgage loans, working capital, CGT SME. So we do not have any vested interest. You choose any bank that is good for you.
Right.
So we'll make that bank or NBS available for you.
Correct.
I think being neutral helps.
Right. No, I've also gone through many of your earlier podcasts and everything, and I think you've also spoken a lot about, what exactly Rupee Boss does, and I think you find the best loan, the best fit for the
MSME,
particular MSME, So what I will also do is, guys, I will be putting the links of the podcast, in the description.
Yeah.
So there are people who are actually going to be, looking at it and specific to what they want.
That's right. Yeah.
Today I wanted to just work on what makes PN Shetty. What is the secret of your success?
I can provide you links so where one can apply for a specific product in the link itself, where our team people will connect with them.
Yeah. So we'll put that in the description, and I think that connect. Now the digital world is making things so much easier.
That's right.
You no longer have to struggle to figure out, okay, what do I have to do?
That's right.
And plus, I think even the Bharat Manch link, I guess, please give that, because
they will give both.
Yeah, so that at least people know this is where you have to log in. And somewhere that connect will start.
That's right. And we'll give both the links.
Yeah.
One for the loan products, one for the MSME Bharat Manch.
Thank you so much. Excellent conversation. I've enjoyed myself.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. I think it was a pleasure conversing with you today.
Yes.
I think you're also interviewing a lot of good quality people who are doing some great work.
Yeah, and I'm actually meeting more and more such people, and it's actually, making my respect
That's right.
for everyone rise so high.
That's right.
See, normally in a corporate, you only think, hey, this is what we are doing. You don't think of anything else.
That's right.
Bank, NBFC. But when I'm seeing the MSME space, people who are actually making a difference at the grassroots level, major respect happening here.
That's right. I think your corporate background helps there, because you have worked in multiple corporates, and that knowledge helps.
I can differentiate, and I can kind of see what is working here, what is working there. I can kind of connect the dots.
That's true.
So that happens, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.